Now this video was supposed to be a training montage of me practicing for Battle League by playing the older games in the series and then rediscovering all of these old classics and their communities that go along with it. But that turned into a super long, boring video because I have a bad habit of rambling. So today we're talking about something that's nice, bright, and colorful. Characters. What characters will you main in Mario Strikers Charge? And just as a question for the YouTube algorithm, what characters do you guys plan to play in the upcoming Battle League? Since we didn't see anything about Boo or King Boo, I'm probably going to play Rosalina, but we'll see how that goes. Mario Strikers Charged was released in 2007 for the Nintendo Wii, being the second and latest entry in the Mario Strikers series. And for a competitive game, it is quite unlike any other. There are ways to score 100% of the time, character abilities, goalie stamina, item techniques, and a whole bunch crud ton more, which I don't have time to explain. But luckily, I don't have to, since today all we're trying to do is help you find your perfect character and make your perfect team. So you gotta learn this garbage anyway. Character archetypes. Now the game actually has 5 different categories, but what I've realized, being around the competitive scene, they simplify it down to 3. Shooters, tricksters, and all around. Let's start with the first, shooters. There are 7 major attributes that make up a character, and as you probably could have guessed, shooters are the slowest characters in the game, but they make up for it by having strong kicking power. You got that? Good. Now to make things more confusing, there are 2 different kinds of shooters. There are shooters, for example Donkey Kong or Bowser or Petey, who are shooters who have good tackles. And on the other side of the fence, there's Wario and Hammer Bro, who are shooters that have good passing speed. Oh wait, but there's more. We now need to talk about the character-specific stuff, like the Dekes and the ults and the skill shots. First up, Dekes. Now, Dekes are only doable when you have the ball or you are in possession of the ball. Otherwise, it just becomes attack. Now, luckily for us, every power type has a defensive Deke, which requires someone to run into them for the Deke to actually be useful. However, even this is split into 2 categories. There are instantaneous Dekes, like Hammer Bro or Bordo, and then there are delayed Dekes, like Bowser Jr. or Monty Moore. Now real quick, in the video description, I'm leaving a link to a stat page that shows all of the different characteristics and stats for like the Deke, delay timings, and whatnot. Because there's a lot of little nuances that if you really want to get into it, you could find. So yeah, in the video description. Now if you're a team captain, you are going to get an item ult, which is an item that you get that is unique to you, similar to Mario Kart Double Dash. And if you're a sidekick, when you fully charge the ball, you'll do a skill shot, which is again also unique to that specific sidekick. Now I'm not going to go over the bullet points of every unique character's ability because it would be way easier for you to just go over to the wiki page and just look it up. You'll get way more information than I ever could in this video. But the one thing I want to talk about is actually playing the character. And this is where the other 2 character archetypes come into play. Now before we even step foot into the field, there are a few things that we need to know. Primarily, what makes the ball go in? I bet you never really thought about that. Well, there are 4 things that determine whether the ball will go in or not. Those 4 things are the power of the character, the charge of the ball, which goes from purple to red to yellow to white, the position of where you are kicking it from on the field, and of course the critter's stamina, how tired the goalie is when you kick it at him. Shooters take a healthy advantage of all 4 of those attributes, which you normally pair with faster characters to charge the ball up, pass it, and kick it. But let's switch gears to a different style of play, one that prioritizes outrunning other people and doing systematic setups that guarantee the ball to go in every single time. Tricksters, identified by their high top speed being the fastest characters in the game, use setups and confirms instead of raw shooting probability, which means that they have to get up close and personal a lot more often, but every time they successfully break the defense, the ball should always go in. Which is why if you've ever watched a competitive match of Mario Strikers Charge, it's normally some combination of a bunch of boos. They're fast, they cover a lot of the board, and they could guarantee shots, which make boos the best sidekick in the entire game, with some people opting to run a Dry Bones or Waluigi as their main captain, as they cover the one thing boos are not good at, which is tackling. Which is why in today's current meta, the power types that are preferably being picked are characters like Donkey Kong, Bowser, and Petey Piranha, because they're also good at tackling. Having said that, I am not qualified to be giving you advice on what's good and what's bad. I'm the guy who got wrecked by a Yoshi 3 times in a bracket. Speaking of which, all-arounders. As you probably could imagine, all-arounders are basically weaker, faster shooters, which gives them a little bit more mobility, but unfortunately with the clear archetypes of the power types and the tricky types, all-arounders tend to sit at the bottom of the tier list, making it so you have to have a lot of game knowledge on both sides of the fence in order to use an all-arounder. But this also makes some of the characters quite unique. Take Mario and Luigi for instance. Their Dekes are quick sidesteps and are all around pretty average characters. However, they have an ult that allows them to get 2 free items and a free goal, if used correctly. So Mario is what's known as an item farmer character. He's a weaker substitute all around the game except when you're behind, in which case he becomes a pretty powerful asset. A lot of characters in this game are like that. They have weird little niches and quirks that allow them to do certain things. Just like this clip, where Trix, the best Bowser player in the world, shows me a Bowser shuttle into a Titan's kick as an opener. And I think more than anything, that's what I want to leave you guys with this video. Luckily, Mario Strikers Charged is one of those games that's surprisingly well balanced. Except for Bowser Jr. You see, he's a little too small for being a shooter class, and in a game where you hit people, actually hit people, being small is not necessarily a good thing. So minus Bowser Jr. and the fact you have to probably run a boo, the game is surprisingly well balanced. And this is definitely one of those games where you could get good with any character combination and any team comp, as long as you put in the practice and find what works for you. And also don't play Monty Mole. Monty Mole. If you like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.